Welcome back to another adventure video where I investigate suspicious black market activity in RuneScape. We've got a lot going on in this video, a major update from Jagex that makes bot busting insanely profitable, but first, my white whale of bot busting. I've known these types of robots existed for a couple years now, but I've never been able to find them in game, not for lack of trying. They blend in extremely well and every minute are in a different area of the game. I'm talking about medium clue scroll bots. It's all thanks to one of my viewers who tipped me off to one of the bots. The tip-off said they saw a suspiciously low-level account on the small island with a bank off of the coast of Fossil Island and had over 4,700 medium clues completed. That's not much to go off of, but then a day later, the same guy told me that he saw the same account banking at Castle Wars. I started hopping around worlds to see what I could find. Once I knew the location and what generally I was looking for, within 15 minutes I found it. A level 71 No Citroyer. The account was hidden under a higher level account and teleported away very quickly, but less than 10 minutes later it came back and we get a glimpse of what it's wearing. What almost looks like a random assortment of junk items, an apron, adamant, a team cape. And when we look at its stats, a lot of them are lined up with the basic requirements for medium clue scrolls, and the account has over 5,000 medium clue scrolls completed. A few minutes later I find another account, level 74, also in a lot of random gear, mithril, green d'hide, a bronze square shield. This account has very similar stats to the last account, except this time it has 17,000 medium clue scrolls done. It's rank 25 in the game for medium clue scrolls, rank 40 overall for clue scrolls completed. I cast Tell the Other to Falador and it completely ignored me and teleported out somewhere else, I'm assuming. The longer I looked, the more I found. In many worlds there was at least one of these accounts teleporting into Castle Wars. Just like Shyly Rune 695 here with another 17,000 medium clue scroll KC. This account's ranked 22. And this operation seemed to just be scaling up because I also found accounts with only 100 to 200 medium clue scrolls doing the exact same thing, almost like the high KC bots were a proof of concept for a larger scale bot farm. Now, I talk a lot about how people are profiting from RuneScape against the rules through all these various gold farming operations. But what if I told you you could stop breaking the rules of RuneScape to profit and instead make money in other games where it's encouraged? Enter the Sandbox, a decentralized community-driven gaming ecosystem. So what do you actually do in the Sandbox? First and foremost, you can play for fun. There are adventure games, parkour courses, even live virtual concerts, talk shows, quests, and more, all driven by fellow gamers and creators. Second, you can actually design items and games. The Sandbox has something called the Vox Edit tool that gives you 3D modeling and animation packages so you can create people, animals, weapons, literally any object you can imagine. You can even mint these items as NFTs and sell them in the marketplace through the Ethereum blockchain if you want. There's also a full game maker tool and you can even monetize your games and earn money from them through the creator program. And third, you can own land and then you can build experiences on that land and monetize it. The Sandbox has its own currency token called Sand. So the Sandbox Alpha Season 2 is now open and will go through the end of March. This time the Sandbox game is open to all players and everyone is getting a chance to win a Season 2 Alpha Pass that gives you up to 1,000 Sand. Check out the Sandbox by clicking the link in the description. Thanks to the Sandbox for sponsoring this video. So, currently doing medium clue scrolls through Eclectic Implings is over 2 million GP per hour, according to the wiki. That means one of these lowish level bots is actually a lot more profitable than a Zulrah bot. I found a few more bots in game with medium clue scroll completions between 5 to 10,000 clue scrolls each. And with help from the RuneLite bot detector plugin team, 34 medium clue scroll bots were identified. Those bots had completed 177,615 medium clue scrolls. I think it's hard to even comprehend how much loot that is. So let's visualize it. This is a simulation of opening 177,000 medium clue scrolls. Huge thanks to the owner of oldschool.gg for helping me set this up. But as you can see, it's an astonishing amount of loot. In this simulation, it ends with 626 Ranger boots. At current prices, that's about 25 billion GP worth of Ranger boots alone. I sent those 34 usernames over to Jagex and they told me across the accounts the bot farm had 785 million GP on it. As soon as they mule the gold, they sell it off immediately, but the bots need to keep 12 million GP to buy Eclectic Implings to continue farming those medium clue scrolls. What a wild bot farm. So Jagex made bot busting in the wilderness at least twice as profitable in a recent update, and that update is loot keys. Basically, you kill a player, you get a key that has all of their loot in it, which you redeem at the Ferox Enclave. Let's take green dragon bots for example. Most of the bots use looting bags so they can hold up to 56 green dragon hides and dragon bones. That means on average you can only kill 2 of them before having to bank, plus picking up all the loot takes over 30 seconds. With loot keys, you kill a bot and all of the loot is instantly put in your inventory. Plus you can hold 5 keys at a time. So instead of holding 56 items in an inventory and looting bag, theoretically you can hold over 250 items across 5 loot keys. It more than doubles your efficiency. For me, it took less than 4 minutes to kill 5 green dragon bots, and they generally have 50 to 100k risk on them. So all of a sudden, this is a 3 to 5 million GP per hour moneymaker, one of the best moneymakers in the game. If you want to be super tryhard though, the multi-line is right west of the green dragons, so on one account you can just drop some green dragon hide to attract all the bots, and then wait on another account to the west with ice barrage and wipe out the bots, getting 3 to 5 loot keys in less than 2 minutes. I highly recommend trying the ice barrage method. It's very satisfying. It's not often that what a bot farm is actually doing surprises me, and what this bot farm is doing is just baffling. I got a tip that there were some bots at the monastery kicking monks to death. They all have the same stats. It looks like there's some basic quest requirements, but they're not even training with weapons or armor. So then all of a sudden, sometimes they randomly run northwest up to the Black Knight Fortress and start kicking Black Knights. Sometimes they die doing this, but often they'll run back down south and then just log out. Sometimes they're at the monastery kicking monks and then they'll run south and log out. My best guess is maybe it's a tactic to avoid bans. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments. I got a tip that there was a bot farm at the Revenant Dark Beasts, all using crossbows, which means they risk bank. He sent me a screenshot showing over 50 mil loot from him just PKing this bot farm. If you stand close enough to the bots after they kill the Revenant, they'll hop worlds. That's probably logic coded in to avoid having to share worlds with other PVMers. A lot of the accounts have over 99 range and do appear to be hacked accounts because of the wide variation in their stats. The bots insta-tele from people in mage gear, but you can be skulled and equip ranged gear and they won't teleport. It took some trial and error here because they actually teleport if you're wielding climbing boots. Makes sense, but it took me a long time to figure it out. And they are standing right on the line of 30 wilderness, so all you have to do is drop a few breadcrumbs and lead them north a few tiles until they're not in level 30 wilderness. Then you can just freeze them and then TB them. And they all do the same thing. They run north and protect from mage. I'm not quite sure why they're programmed to run north. Seems like it's a pretty roundabout way of escaping to me, but I'm not complaining. In terms of saving inventory, the loot keys aren't really necessary here, but they still create this suspense of what you're gonna get. And as you can see, this bot had just gotten there. Its only loot was the rune plate body that I dropped for it, which means these bots at minimum risk over 430k. Another easy way to identify that these accounts are bots is just their prayer reaction time. If they're above level 30 wilderness and you start equipping any mage gear, basically the instant you attack them, maybe even slightly before, they'll put protect from magicka. It seems like botters are getting more and more confident. The fact that botters are so confident they can risk 400k not in loot from monsters but in base gear in the wilderness goes to show they think either their coding has advanced enough to avoid PKers, or they think there are less people hunting them down. Maybe even with the risk of being PK'd, the crossbow's still worth it because of all the added loot. Either way, the bots have made it a long time out here with most of them over 100 range. And once again, the base loot is over 400k easily. Killing these bots is easily over 4 mil an hour. I reported the usernames to Jagex and they said there were a total of 61 of these bots. Across all of those accounts, the wealth on them was 1.63 billion GP. 1.5 billion GP of that would have just been in their crossbows alone. The accounts had an average of 27 days played, and now they're all banned. For a completely unrelated reason, I was running through the wilderness when I came across this account, 94 Eagle 2153. It's safe spotting Venenatus in completely budget gear and has some of the most basic bot-like stats ever. 80 attack, 90 strength, 80 defense, and 43 prayer. It has 809 Venenatus KC. I hopped around 50 or so other worlds and didn't find any other accounts like it. It hopped worlds when it finished the kill, and usually even gold farmers have leveled up other stats or done some sort of quests, and they often have other boss kill count because they don't usually just do one moneymaker. I checked the high scores a few weeks later and the account was banned. My guess, this is probably a botter testing a new script out, and if it was profitable, which given the amount of kills they got it probably was, they might be scaling up soon. Now if you have a level 60 account with teleblock, another really great way to utilize these wilderness loot keys is by killing the massive amounts of air orb charging bots. They used to run away when you attack attack them, and this newer bot farm does not, which means it's basically brainless to just sit there tele-blocking them as they come in droves. Usually you can find at least 5 of them in just 2 worlds. And the loot is only between 10 to 25k, but since you can actually collect all of their loot now, it's still over 1 million GP per hour. Be careful though, you might want to watch out for anyone pretending to be one of these bots. Let me show you guys a trick to catching large bot farms very easily. Let's say you find 2 bots out of a bot farm in game, and you notice that one skill for both botters has the same amount of XP. In this case, let's say construction XP equals 372123. Go to the high scores, find that amount of XP, and see if you can see a pattern in the usernames. Like here, the name pattern is 2 words right next to each other with a space in between. It's pretty obvious. Flipping through the accounts on the highest scores, it's very clearly a corp bot farm. I get so many tip-offs about these corp bots, and there are tons of different kinds of these bots out there. So these aren't the same ones as on the high scores, and you'll also notice they all have 81 construction, which I'm guessing they got for a rejuvenation pool and is a pretty significant investment by the botter. All you can really do when you see them is report them. Hopefully something will be put in place to really catch all of them quickly. Some of these guys get over 5,000 Corporal Beast KC. If you appreciate me bot busting or are at least entertained by the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll see you guys later.